Hello everyone, this is Zhenia, and this is Creative Moment with Zhenia. It's a monthly practice to connect us to our creative sides and connect to spirit and see what comes through. So welcome. Today's theme is Celebrate Our Light, and I want to just put that in the let me see if that's gonna work. Welcome. All right, so celebrating our light, and the creative prompt is what we own. And so we're going to be diving into our ego and really claiming what we own, what is part of us, because that is all light. That is all the light. That is all the wisdom and the knowledge and the lived experience and really who you are. And so we wanna honor that. So welcome. So good to have you here. Let me know where you're joining me from. I am on the East Coast, and it is quite foggy outside from the fires in Canada. So just sending Canada our love. And so what are we gonna do first? First of all, I have a couple announcements actually, just really quick. So Creative Moment, as this is the container on IG Live, is going to change slightly. It's still going to be once a month. We're still going to be practicing. I'm going to be offering prompts, but it's going to be probably a video, a shorter video, so you can just watch it wherever you are. It'll be less time. It'll be probably about 5 minutes. So, but it's still going to be a practice session and really tune into yourself, and there'll be meditation. And the Creative Moment will really prompt us into a 6-month workshop that I'm offering from Summer Solstice to Winter Solstice, called Play as a Ritual. And we will dive into really everything that I do on these creative moments, but deeper. We are going to be playing with all sorts of expressive modalities, intuitive drawing, expressive journaling. We'll do some poetry, we'll do mood boarding. So every month I think it's going to be the 3rd week of the month, you can join me at Minka, and we can work together in sort of a closed container that really honors this work and honors the vulnerability that is asked of you and of me. So I hope you can join me. Stay tuned for details. It'll be posted on Minka website and IG. So getting into what is supporting us in this moment. So all this creative work really centers around, first of all, what is supporting you, right? What is supporting you in your body? What is supporting you outside of your body, right? So the astrological energies we're working with is, of course, Gemini season. So you're really asked to, ask questions, flirt with life, right? Communicate with intention, get curious, learn new things, right? Gemini really holds the mind, and really the mind is sort of a place that we can work with Gemini season. And it is also important in this season to really ground yourself as much as possible, because sometimes when we work with our mind and we don't ground in our heart and we don't ground in the earth, we can get confused. We can have our mind can be in overdrive. So this is a reminder to really to just allow yourself the space and the time to also ground in your heart, in creativity, in whatever it is that serves you and supports you. And also Venus and Leo, it's a beautiful transition. So Venus is really how you love, how you show love, self-care, pleasure. And then the expression of Leo, right? It's about showing up. It's about being dramatic if you need to, right? Even cocky, right? I just posted earlier today that modesty can be a prison too. And so how are you asked to show up, right? In the way that you love, in relationships. So it's a really beautiful, supportive, it feels supportive to me. So yeah, so I hope that resonates for you. Now, as always, we do start with a grounding meditation. Hey, thanks for joining us. So we're going to start with a grounding meditation to really, well, before we do that, let us light our candles. Let us light our candles and let us, I'm gonna clear a little bit as well. So if you have a candle nearby, go ahead and get it and light it. Fire is a really beautiful element to help you work with creativity, inspiration, visions, dreams, right? And so let us call that in. Let us say to ourselves, I am ready for what wants to come through. And if you don't have a candle, imagine a candle in your heart and imagine you lighting it. Just close your eyes, take a nice deep breath, and light your candle, because the fire exists in you as well. Okay, beautiful. You know what, I usually don't do this, but I want to. I'm really feeling called. I'm gonna pick a card. I always forget to pick a card in the beginning of at the end of the session, so I'm gonna just clear my deck and just pick a card that is from this vessel deck that I love so much. And I'm going to ask for what wants to come through for this session, what you are asked to remember in this moment, as we engage, honor, celebrate our light. And while I connect with the cards, make sure you have your journal, your colorful utensils. If you only have a pen, it's all good. It's really whatever you have, whatever supplies you have is what you need. So okay, so the card is freedom. So for me, this feels like, you know, I think we all get to define what freedom for us is, and how we are constrained, and how we are feel limited by the systems in place, right? The world that we live in. And so this is a beautiful opportunity to really just ask yourself, what does freedom mean to me? What does liberation mean to me? What do I have? What is part of me? What is a part of my experience that maybe is holding me back, that at this point in time, I'm ready to let go? What is the small acts of kindness and self-care that I can engage in to open the doors for freedom to come through? For freedom to be embodied in me? And I love that this card has these beautiful pine trees on the side, right here, and a rainbow. And so it feels to me like nature, which we are a part of, is a part of your liberation as well. And so where can you go to touch trees? Where can you go to put your feet on the ground, right? You can start there. Okay. All right. So now we come to the creative moment. As always, I like to start with a little grounding meditation. And so go ahead and get comfortable. Welcome. We're just starting a grounding meditation to get us into a creative practice. So make yourself comfortable and take a nice, gentle, deep breath in. I'm just gonna put some music in the background to get us started. And take a nice, gentle, deep breath in through your nose. And exhale out. Take another deep, gentle breath in. And feel your belly expanding. And just feel your body thriving at this moment. And go ahead and exhale in a gentle, loving way. And let us connect to our mind, this beautiful intellect, this beautiful engine of discernment. And let us honor the mind in the way that it imagines, creates, listens, connects, compares possibly. And let us just say thank you for this beautiful tool that we have. And let us put our hands on our heart. This centering place that can work with the mind in a really collaborative way, that can really ground our thoughts, our visions, our dreams, our intentions in love, in creation, in expression, in what you have to share in this world. And so, as you go out in the world and you feel overwhelmed by the workings of the mind, touch your heart and ground that mind in the heart. And ground that mind in the wholeness that you are, in the presence that you are. Because to celebrate our light does not mean picking things that look good to others. It's all of us. It's all the parts of us. All the parts that we have accepted and maybe have not accepted. It's all part of us. It's all part of that light, that radiance that is uniquely you. And take a nice deep breath and breathe into that wholeness. And know that wherever you are right now is where you're meant to be. And no matter what you're working with, dealing with, it is showing you in increments what you're capable of, the decisions that you're capable of making for the betterment of you and the betterment of your community and the world. And go ahead, put your hands down. Take another deep breath in and feel that love in your heart connected to your mind. Feel that collaboration. And in the exhale, allow anything that doesn't serve you, any kind of tension or tightness in your body, to just be released down into the ground, into the earth. Another support system for us. Mother Earth is always, always supporting us and feeding us and nourishing us. And so to that we thank her. And when you're ready, feel free to open your eyes and look around. Just anchor yourself in this physical moment. Whew, I don't know about you, but I got a little emotional there in the meditation. So I know it fed me. So I pray that it feeds you as well, if you're watching this at this moment or in a future moment. So, how do we celebrate our light? Well, to me, it feels like we can start with awareness. And I mentioned all the parts of us in the meditation that make us who we are. And so I think, to me, it feels like we can start to pay attention to be aware of our mind, right? Where our mind starts to go. And that takes practice, that takes time, right? And recognizing how much information our mind receives on any given moment, at any given day. I think it's something like 60 to 80,000 pieces of information, right? It's a lot. So our mind is taking in a lot, absorbing, comparing, discerning, right? And so I want us to sit with the silent witness. This is the part of us that is this awareness, this consciousness that is us, that is part of us, that is not our mind, not our body, not our experience. It's a part of us that is the silent observer, right? And so a part of this exercise is going to be about connecting to the silent observer in us, so we can become aware of what choices we have in any given moment. Because once we can witness ourselves, we can change, we can grow. And when I mean change, I'm not meaning change who we are, because you are who you are for a very important reason, right? But it's this idea that wholeness is not out there. Wholeness is who we are. And part of the change that I am calling in here is an integration. We can start to be aware of our patterns, our triggers, and we can just witness them, right? And so what I'm calling us to do is to do an ego meditation. And I want to credit David G, who I heard this meditation from many, many years ago, that really helped me to see fully what I own, right? And so the question is, what do you own? What is part of you, right? And so I want you to open your journal, and I want you to reflect on the things that you own, right? Be it emotional things, mental things, dealing with relationships, physical things. So perhaps you can start out with the physical things you own, and then you can broaden that list to spiritually, what you own, who you embody spiritually, health related, right? There's all these parts of us that we are, but we don't often just see them in a whole list, right? And so however you want to do it, if you want to, creatively, I'm seeing like a circle, draw a circle in the middle of the sheet, write your name, and then just do arrows, point arrows out of that circle. And so one of the arrows is going to be emotions. One of the arrows are going to be mentally what you own, relationships, physical, spiritual, health related. And if you have any other categories, go ahead and put them in. This is not my list, this is your list. So, and we'll take 5 minutes to just jot down what you're reflecting on that you own, and include your shadow parts, include the things that you don't like about yourself, that you're not proud, include them as well, because we have to own them, right? We have to, I like the idea of, ego is really, ego kind of gets a bad rap, right? And ego doesn't have to be this sort of thing that controls us and ruins our life, right? Ego is really the self. What makes you you, right? And we have to own that. We have to own those parts of ourselves. And so let's take some time and just jot them down. And as you jot them down, I will speak in the background. If you need to tune me out, feel free. If you want to continue to listen, use color if possible. Just make this a self-reflection, self-care, like reflective journaling. And, you know, this whole idea about, you know, I teach that an ego that is not, don't want to use the word healthy because it brings that like binary of healthy or not healthy, but when we're not aware of, when we have unconscious triggers, when we have unconscious biases, right? There's this idea about wanting to kill the ego, wanting to, you know, end the ego or like push it aside. But I think we can work with the ego. I think the ego can really empower us when we can stand in our truth, in our light, in our power, right, of who we are, what we own. Then we can make conscious decisions about our relationships, our life, right? And so we want to become aware of things in us that maybe we haven't really said out loud, maybe we haven't really reflected on. This is also your reminder to hydrate. This is a cup that I did many years ago on a photo shoot. So I wanted to. This is my daughter, Valerie. She's 10 now. I think she was 7 in this picture. So please hydrate. Give yourself, you know, give yourself that nourishment. And I also want to, relationships are a really important part of that list because relationships really mirror to us where we have work to do, or also where we pushed and pulled to move forward, right? So, yeah, maybe another couple of minutes. How is this resonating for people? If you need to create. Don't even bother commenting. It's all good. It's all good. I wanted to also mention that you know, we're in Gemini season, and I was born on Summer Solstice. And I always thought it was a really cool day to be born until a couple of years ago, when I realized I actually have a responsibility to myself and the world that I live in to remind people of their light, to walk with others hand in hand into the light of the summer solstice. And so Creative Moment is really one of those offerings, reminding people that their emotional capacity is a form of truth-telling. And the more aware we are of our emotions and what we're working through, and really being able to work with what we're given, work with our emotions and work with our experience, and be able to channel it into a creative expression of who we are. So that's part of the work. And so that's part of the responsibility that I now understand that I have. And so just a bit of a vulnerable share for me, because I am asked to also go into the light. I am. You know, summer solstice is a really beautiful moment where we're having the longest day of the year, right? In this hemisphere anyway. And what do we do with the light? How do we honor the light? How do we hold that light, right? And so this feels very very appropriate for the theme of this creative moment. How did the prompt work for you? Let me see if what came up for you in your journaling? What came up for, you know, on your list? What things have you have not admitted to yourself, right? What things have you confirmed for yourself, right? Those are really good categories to kind of like think of in our lives, emotionally, mentally, relationships, physically, spiritually, health related. These are all really interesting ways that we can kind of segment our lives and sort of work with the energy of our emotions, the energy of our mind, the energy of our spirit relationships, right? All right, so I am going to just remind you that next month Creative Moment will be a little bit different. It might actually be posted on a different day, but it will take the form of a video, a shorter video. It won't be live anymore. And I do encourage you to keep an eye out for the creative workshop called Play as Ritual, and it will be a bunch of creative modalities that we'll be working with throughout each month. And I will do the Creative Moment video sort of like blast and like give you some prompts to engage you for the next workshop. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for joining. Always grateful to be with you, to honor your light and mine, honor the creative spirit that you bring into this world, no matter what you're creating, because you are a creative spirit, you are a creative being, just who you are. Remember that. Thank you. Take care.